Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Spanish for Medical Professionals. We are going to start working today in some grammar. A couple of students have told me that have difficulty when I pronounce the letter L, double L, the Y, and the N. And some of them have been asking me why in some words I pronounce in one way and in a different way. So let's try to figure it out this today. Let's start with that. In Spanish, we have something that we call the letra L. When the two L come together, that is called L. The expert in linguistics, they are going to tell you that is not a real letter. It's called digraph. It's when the two letters are put together, the one letter is put together and sounds in a different way. So in Spanish, we have this digraph that is called letra L, and it's going to sound in this way. Let's go together reading this part here. Ya, ye, yi, lo, lu. The real problem with this letter is that may be pronounced differently depending on the country. Like people in Central America and the Caribbean, they are going to pronounce a little bit softer. The people in Argentina, they are going to pronounce a little bit stronger. And the rest of Latin America, they are going to be pronounced in a neutral way. So you have to pick whatever way you want to pronounce. The problem is you have to learn to listen and to understand when the people are talking with that letter so you know what they are about. So is your listening, your hearing that has to be trained to understand what they are talking. In terms of your pronunciation, I will advise you to pick up the more the neutral pronunciation for these letters. So 3-4 sounds have been identified. You go to YouTube and you start watching a couple of videos, they are going to tell you that there's 3 sounds. Other videos, they are telling you that they are going to 4 sounds. So let's start working with that. So this double L that we are going to call from now elle or elle can sound like a Y in English, like the J, like the SH, and like the IE. Let's see some examples here. Let's figure it out this together. So we have here. So depends on the country. I told you that people in Central America, they said a little bit softer. They are going to pronounce the L more like the Y in English, like in yellow or like in yarn. The L is going to sound more like the Y in yarn or yellow. Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Venezuela, Chile, most of the countries are going to pronounce like the J, like in Joseph or jewelry, like in Joseph or jewelry. People from Argentina probably are going to be the only ones that they are going to pronounce. Maybe Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay, they are going to pronounce a little bit stronger, like the SH, like in sheep or shadow. The other sound that you are going to find in the YouTube channels is the IE, but I'm not going to talk to you about this one here. I think with the 3 of them, we cover most of the pronunciation of the letra L. So I put here a couple of things. Listen my pronunciation. I'm going to pronounce the same sentences 3 times with the 3 different sounds, okay? Yo me llamo Susana. Yo me llamo Susana. Yo me llamo Susana. My name is Susana. Yo me llamo Susana. Yo me llamo Susana. Yo me llamo Susana. If you listen my videos, I will probably say yo me llamo Susana. It is more like the J in Joseph and jewelry. Let's see the next one. What is this? This is fire. And in Spanish, we call llama. Llama. La llama es caliente. That's the way I pronounce. So listen to me how I'm going to be pronouncing with the three different sounds. La llama es caliente. La llama es caliente. La llama es caliente. So this is a great exercise for you when you try to learn and put your listening in practice, okay? What I'm saying is the fire is hot. But llama is not only fire. This little cute animal is also called llama. In English, you call it llama. But in Spanish, if you said llama, nobody's going to understand because we pronounce the double L, right? A little bit stronger. So listen my pronunciation. I am still going to be doing in the three different ways. La llama es peruana. La llama es peruana. La llama es peruana. And the way that we understand if we are talking about the fire or the animal is because of the context of the sentence. I cannot say that this llama is hot or this llama is Peruvian. La llama es caliente, the fire is hot. La llama es peruana, the animal is Peruvian. Let's go to the next one here. So let's learn how new regular words, how we are going to pronounce regular words in Spanish that use the letter L. Remember, ya, ye, li, yo, you. Remember that we said in Spanish we have just 5 vowels and each vowel just have, thankfully, just one sound. Ya, ye, li, yo, you. What is this? Llanta. Llanta. The plural, llantas. So listen to me. I'm going to pronounce in the 3 different ways. Llanta, llanta, llanta. Next one here, chair, silla, chair, silla. That's my pronunciation. So let me pronounce the 3 different ways. Silla, silla, silla. Next one here, we learned already about this cutie. Llama. Listen my pronunciation, the 3 different ways. Llama, llama, llama. You have the plural here. If you don't know how to make plural, there is a video in my channel in how to do the plurals in Spanish. Next one here, llave. Listen the pronunciation. Llave in Central America, llave, the rest of the continent, and llave. Llave, llave, llave. Let's see the next one here. So these are examples of regular words that you can use. Next one here. Let's learn a little bit of animals. We learned already about the llama, llama. Let's see here. This one, camello. Camello. This one here, the rooster, gallo. The chicken, gallina. Gallo, gallina. If I have to pronounce this in the 3 different accents, I would say gallo y gallina. Gallo y gallina. Gallo y gallina. Right? And the baby of them, it's called pollo. Pollo. One of the things in Spanish also, we have to use we tend to use the diminutive. So for make it a little bit cuter, we said pollo, pollito, pollo, pollito, pollo, pollito, pollo, pollito. Okay, so this is the baby chicken here, pollo. Let's learn some verbs that you can use in Spanish that use the letter L. Remember, ya, ye, li, yo, you. The verb arrive. In Spanish, we said llegar. Let's listen the pronunciation. Llegar, llegar, llegar. Next verb, like fill in the blank, like when you go to the front desk in one of our clinics and they said you have to fill a paper or write something if something has changed in your medical history or so forth. The verb is llenar. Listen the pronunciation. Llenar, llenar, llenar. Okay? Next one here. The same verb, llenar, but with a different meaning, like fill it up, like fill the cup when you go and you have to get a urine test and the nurse is telling you that you have to fill the cup, fill it. Llenar. How you pronounce? Llenar, llenar, llenar. A little bit stronger. You pick whatever you want for your pronunciation, but you have to listen and understand people from different places. Let's learn now some verbs also in Spanish that we can use frequently. The verb call, like call by phone or call like waving a person, llamar. Listen the pronunciation. Llamar, llamar, llamar. Next one here, the verb cry, llorar. Listen the pronunciation. Llorar, llorar, llorar. Okay, next one here, rain, when it rains. The verb is llover. Listen the pronunciation with the three different forms. Llover, llover, chover. Okay. Next one here. We learned already some pronouns in Spanish that use the letter L during the last two lessons, and the lessons are going to be in the Facebook and in YouTube. We learned about she is, right? And it's ella es, she is. Ella es Susana. Ella, here I need an A. Ella es paciente de pediatría. Ella es Susana. Ella es paciente de pediatría. Let me do with a soft accent. Ella es Susana. Ella es paciente de pediatría. Let me do with a neutral accent. Ella es Susana. Ella es paciente de pediatría. And let me do it with the accent that a couple of countries in the very south part of South America, like Argentina, they use. Ella es Susana. Ella es paciente de pediatría. We also learn another pronoun that is ellos y ellas. That means they are. Ellos son niños. Ellos son pequeños. My pronunciation is neutral. Okay, my pronunciation is neutral. I live in several countries in South America and I managed to have a neutral accent. Ellos son niños. Ellos son pequeños. If I want to do more like the Caribbean, ellos son niños. Ellos son pequeños. If I want to do more like the southern part of the continent, like Argentina, I will say, ellos son niños, ellos son pequeños. Next one here. We are going to learn right now some words that they are very useful for the healthcare workers, where we have the letra L. Remember, ya, lle, li, lo, lu. El cuello, that means the neck. El cuello, what is this area here? La rodilla, and you can hear la rodilla, la rodilla, la rodilla. Three ways. The sore, la llaga, la camilla, la camilla. Next one here. Let's do some little small sentences using the previous words here. El dolor del cuello. The pain in the neck. El dolor del cuello. And this lady probably saying, me duele el cuello. My neck is hurting. Me duele el cuello. Next one here. This is rodilla. El dolor de la rodilla. The pain of the knee. That is the literal translation, okay? The pain of the knee. I know in English you don't say that way. You say knee pain. But if I want to translate like this, I can say the pain of the knee. We have discussed already about that in our classes, about the way that in English and in different in Spanish, how you say the possessive words. How I can say my knee is painful or I have pain in my knee. Me duele la rodilla. Me duele la rodilla. Me duele la rodilla. Next one here. La llaga es dolorosa. La llaga es dolorosa. The sore is painful. The sore is painful. Next one here. La camilla es de metal. The stretcher is of metal. La camilla es de 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 metal. Now you probably understand why in the lesson sometimes I use a stronger accent or softer accent. It's because I want you to be familiar with all the possible ways to pronounce the letra L. Now we have a different letter here, the letter Y. In Spanish, the letter Y is called Y. Has a name and last name. It's called Y. We have learned already that sounds like E, especially when you use the letter Y instead of and. For example, listen my pronunciation. María y Juana. Here the Y is replacing and. It's putting together María and Juana. María and Juana, right? So it's instead of and it's going to sound like E. Next one here, listen my pronunciation. Pediatría y ginecología. Pediatrics and gynecology. Next one here, gastritis y reflujo. I'm not saying gastritis, right? Gastritis y reflujo. Next one, vómito y diarrea. I'm not saying diarrhea, diarrhea, right? So the letter Y here is the same like and is going to pronounce like E. And this letter in Spanish is called Y, has name and last name. And how it sounds with the different vowels. Ya, ye, yi, yo, you. This is yi. This is I. Listen the difference. This is I. This one here is yi. Ya, ye, yi, yo, you. María y Juana. Pediatría y ginecología. Gastritis y reflujo. Vómito y diarrea. We have also learned in our lessons, and we have used a lot, yo. We have like 2 or 3 sessions with the use of yo, like yo soy, which is the meaning of I am. Yo soy, I am. For example, yo soy inteligente y bonita. I am smart and pretty. Yo soy inteligente y bonita. Yo soy diabética y fumadora. Here the letter Y is putting between 2 things, are linking, are adding, and replace and. Yo soy paciente de endocrinología y de neumología. We learned already this. I am patient of endocrinology and pulmonology. Next one here, the letter Y. The problem with this letter is the same like the letter L. We just learned the letter L. Depends on the country, and that can pronounce it in a different way. For example, may pronounce like you have already listened, ya, ye, yi, yo, you. May be pronounced more like the J, ja, je, ji, yo, you. And maybe pronounced like the SH, like ja, she, she, yo, you. I will advise you to stay with the first two pronunciations here, since the last one is not very common. Let's learn some common words that use the letter Y. Listen few ways how to pronounce it. Ya, ye, yi, yo, you. Exactly like you, but it's just the Y and the U, right? Yo, you, exactly like the way you pronounce you. Let's see this example here. What this person has in the hand has a splint, right? Has a cast. I don't know if you remember many years ago, we used to have a material that it was white, and every time that we put the patient on that material, we splash all over the place, and we used to have special rooms to cast the patients. Right now we have nice material, but the old material that still you can find in some places, the white one that splash all over, I think right now people just use that for arts and crafts, but that is called yeso. So listen the sentence here. El yeso es nuevo. That's the material that we use to make those casts. El yeso es nuevo. That is new. That's nuevo, means new. Listen the pronunciation. El yeso es nuevo. That's very soft. El yeso es nuevo. It's a little bit stronger. El yeso es nuevo. Much stronger. Whichever you choose to talk is perfectly fine, but please work in your listening. This one here, you call in English and in Spanish the same, with a little bit different in the pronunciation. El yogurt es saludable. El yogurt es saludable. El yogur es saludable. El yogur es saludable. So you have already two versions there. Softer yogurt and a stronger yogurt. Next one here. La hierba es verde. La hierba es verde. What is hierba? Hierba is grass. Hierba is grass. But in the popular terms, and maybe that is the case that one patient is coming to talk with us and you ask, do you smoke? And the patient is, sí, fumo hierba. I smoke hierba. Hierba also is the street name for the marijuana, for the cannabis. So that's what I put the picture here. But remember, hierba is not just the cannabis, it's not just the marijuana, it's the name, regular name for grass. But you can hear from the patients when you ask if the patient are smoking, when you are doing the social history, that the patient can say, sí, yo fumo hierba. And you are like, what he's talking about. Hierba is the regular grass that you have in your front yard, but this also can be marijuana or cannabis in the street lingo. Next one here. We have some words with the letter Y that we can use in the medical field. For example, this lady fainted. She fainted. Ella se desmayó. Somebody is running into our clinic and said, ella se desmayó. She just fainted. Ella, ella se desmayó. Ella se desmayó. Ella se desmayó. Right? A little bit stronger. I will advise you pick the softer, like more like neutral one, like ella se desmayó. Next one here, this part of the gut here, the jejunum. In Spanish, we said el yeyuno, el yeyuno, el yeyuno, el yeyuno, El yeyuno, a little bit stronger. El yeyuno y el estómago son órganos. What I'm using son because I am talking about two items. Ellos son, they are organs. They are organs. El yeyuno y el estómago son órganos. This big vein that we have here in the neck, that we take this when we are in anesthesia, when we are in ICU, the patient doesn't have peripheral veins, and we need a central line, a central vein, right? La vena, the vein, la vena jugular, la vena jugular, la vena jugular. Depends where the person is coming. La vena jugular, la vena jugular, la vena jugular. Three different pronunciations. The sentence, la vena jugular es grande. The vein, the jugular vein is big. La vena jugular es grande. Next one here. Let me talk just few words about the letra ñ. That letter N with a little hat on top is called ñ. It's not a very common letter. Very, very little words they can have the letter ñ, not so many. It's not a common letter. The only problem that we, the Latinos, we have living in USA, that sometimes we don't have computers with the letter ñ. We don't know how to bring the letter ñ. We don't want to start changing or typing the ALT 164 to bring the letter ñ, and we just wanted to type fast. So the problem is like we can type anos instead of años, and that's a real confusion because anos means anuses and años means years. So that's something funny that happened very common among Latinos. And we type sometimes tengo 30 años, I have 30 añoses, instead of tengo 30 años, I have 30 years. That will be the only confusion here. How I pronounce? I have this example here, años, años. Look here, NY, años, años. A little bit stronger with the Y in there. Let's see a couple of examples. We have already learned these examples. I believe it's in the lesson 1 and 2. Remember niño? Niño is not nino, is niño, boy. Niña, girl, is not nina, is niña. Niña, girl. Let's see this couple. He's tall and she's petite. Él es alto, ella es pequeña. Él es alto, ella es pequeña. Let's look at her. She's not completely blonde. She's more like a brunette, but she's not a dark hair either. Remember how we describe that? Yo soy rubia, yo soy morena, yo soy castaña. Castaña, this is castaña. Ella es castaña, is the way that we describe. We are looking for a patient. The patient is not there. The patient was waiting in the lab, and you ask a patient, I need this patient, how she looks like. Ella es castaña, right? It's like a brunette type of hair, and the skin is not so white. Ella es castaña, a description of her. Very good. So thank you very much. I appreciate you being here, and we'll see you soon. Tomorrow we will have a regular Zoom class.